Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another election prediction. This time we're looking at the 2024 gubernatorial races. So we have a few competitive governor races here on this map, but most of them are pretty much just safe states either way. So I guess we'll start off with the easier ones first. So in Vermont, the incumbent Republican governor, Phil Scott, he's running for re-election again, and he's probably going to easily win re-election. Again, he's just a very well-liked liberal Republican, so he's probably left-wing in ideology, but he's fiscally conservative. But this is a safe Republican state for now. Going over to Missouri, I'm really not seeing competitive race here, neither in Indiana. I think it's going to be safe Republican. North Dakota, Montana, Utah also are safe Republican states. West Virginia, it is a bit of a weird state sometimes in terms of elections, but so far, even with the hypothetical polling, even when they are saying Manchin might run as an independent, I don't know why they did this poll. They could have just did a simple head-to-head because Manchin's obviously not going to run when there's another Democrat in the race. But just looking at these numbers in a simple head-to-head, I think Marissi would easily win here over 10%. Even I just don't see it happening, especially because Steve Williams, I mean, he's just a current mayor of Huntington, West Virginia. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But this race, I think it's safe Republican. Going over to Delaware, it's also a safe Democratic state. And now we're down to the three actually competitive states. We'll start off with Washington. So in Washington, the current Democrat is retiring, and we now have a open race. Dave Reichardt is actually a pretty decent candidate. He used to be a formerly represented the a House district in Washington for a very long time, until 2019. And so far in the polling, he's actually making it decently close. Republicans are also raising a good amount of money as well to keep this race competitive. But so far, I'd put this race as about a likely Democratic one. It could even get over to an over 10% margin, but I think it'll be a bit more competitive. Usually, governor races are a lot less polarized. So for now, this is going to be a likely Democratic race. I think I'll go under 10 currently. So we could go over to North Carolina next. We have a ton of polls in North Carolina now, and it's all saying the same thing. Mark Robinson will lose. We're seeing polls that have him down by over 10 consistently. One poll had him down by 8. So honestly, you could make a good argument that this race is a likely Democratic one. But again, there's a lot of undecideds in these polls. So when we saw in a direct head-to-head, it was an 8% lead. But again, with these undecideds here, they could break to the Republican to make this a lean Democratic race. So that's why I'm being cautious and keeping this as a lean Democratic state. But it used to be tilt blue in my last prediction video of this. But this could get to likely blue. The only hesitation I'm giving is a lot of these polls don't have Stein over 50%. But Robinson, he's a heavy underdog at this point. Stein's starting to run away with this race. Robinson's in quite a lot of trouble right now. So that's why I'm putting this race as a lean blue race. So far, no flips on the governorships here. So let's head to New Hampshire. New Hampshire is going to be probably one of the more competitive races, and there's still, I believe, no polling yet out of this race that's recent. Only polls done last year, so we really just have to rely on, I guess we could take a look at fundraising. But so far, I think Joyce Craig's going to be the nominee. She's been leading by a good amount, but Warmington could win. She's not that far behind. In the Republican primary, I think it's very likely that Kelly Oyette wins, and she's leading by 40% here, so she will be the nominee. She's raised a good amount of money, about 3.3 mil she has on hand. Let's see the Democrat fundraising. Only 1.3 mil on hand, according to June. So there's been 2 months since then, but with Kelly Oyette being a former U.S. Senator from New Hampshire, she barely lost re-election back in 2016. I think she's the narrow favorite to win this race so far, just based on the fundraising totals, and we really don't have a lot to go off. New Hampshire does like the ticket split, though, like we saw back in 2020. So I would put this race as a tilt Republican race in the state of New Hampshire right now. So the Democrats will have 23 governorships to the Republicans' 27. There's no flips for the governorships this year so far. States to look out for, probably New Hampshire and North Carolina, but North Carolina is kind of turning into potentially even likely blue state, while New Hampshire, it could get flipped to the Democrats. It's certainly possible with Harris leading over 5 in New Hampshire. That could maybe happen. But so far, this is just how I see the races going. So let me know down in the comments below if you agree with this prediction, any race ratings you would change. Other than that, if you're new to this channel, I'd highly recommend subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. But thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.